went through candidate training and officially became an astronaut just recently. Again, a few milestones to get through to that hatch opening. First, the International Space Station attitude control has been successfully switched from control moment gyro only control, enabling some of the thrusters on the International Space Station. We also just received word that Dragon is successfully receiving power.
Ground ISS power connection.
For those of you just joining us, you are getting a live look at NASA astronaut Chris Cassidy, commander of the International Space Station, doing some of the prep work to open up the hatch and get ready to welcome Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley aboard the International Space Station. They launched successfully yesterday at 2:22 p.m. Central Time, 3:22 p.m. Eastern, and docked successfully with a contact and capture just a little bit ago at 9:16 a.m. Central Time, 10:16 Eastern. Now, some of the milestones to get that hatch open have already taken place. First, attitude control. For some of the docking sequence, for the initial contact and capture, attitude control was on Russian thrusters. That was moved to control moment gyros for hard mate, making sure that everything lined up and we got those ready-to-hook indicators green before driving those hooks. The attitude control has since been switched to enable some thrusters on the International Space Station. We did get confirmation of good power being delivered from ISS to the Dragon. Next will be to test some hard line communication between Dragon and the International Space Station.
Dragon and station. It's Houston calling on the big loop. We're prepared and getting ready to transition the comm system to hardline, at which time we're going to do a couple comm checks. We just want to make sure everybody's on board with that and aware. So Dragon first, maybe let me know if you hear this and if you're go with that plan.
Yeah, Houston, Endeavor on the big loop. We had you loud and clear.
Houston station copies and concurs.
Okay, Endeavor and station, we have it loud and clear on RF right now. We are putting it in work now, so transitioning comm system to hardline, and we'll call you back for voice checks momentarily.
Endeavor copies.
This is Mission Control Houston. The voice you just heard was Capcom Joshua Kutrick from here in Mission Control Houston, relaying through the big loop that's integrated communications with Dragon and the International Space Station, just taking us through those procedures until we get to hatch opening. Now, there's an umbilical connection with Dragon, connecting Dragon to the International Space Station. We did get good confirmation that power is flowing from the International Space Station to Dragon. Next, we'll be proceeding with some of the communications checks. The big loop established on the C2V2 Common Communications for Visiting Vehicle through some of the last legs of the rendezvous and docking of Dragon to the International Space Station. We'll switch that over to hardline communications, testing that out here shortly. We're going to get some good views of station today. You see Chris Cassidy working inside Node 2. Just on the other side is the hatch. That hatch is separating between the International Space Station and the pressurized mating adapter. One more hatch to go after that. That hatch opens up to the Dragon hatch with Bob Benkin and Doug Hurley on the other side. Just surrounding Chris Cassidy from this view, you can see a series of cameras. We're going to get some great views from Node 2 there on the left, a couple high-definition cameras on the right, a 360 VR camera. Part of an initiative to engage viewers and provide views that from the International Space Station that have never been seen before. We'll get to see some of those 360-degree views later after they're configured and stitched on the ground, now being recorded during this historic moment today, May 31st, 2020.
Affirmative, we are on the same page. Those steps in the execution note are all that's needed.
Copy and work.
You're getting a live look at Chris Cassidy aboard the International Space Station. Just in front of him is that 360-degree camera. He's got cameras situated all over Node 2, pointing right towards that hatch. On the other side, we'll be welcoming Bob Benkin and Doug Hurley after pressurization of the vestibule, and we'll start beginning hatch opening after that.
Nave open.
Yeah, we copy MPEV.